Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this second video, I will share about my first project that I will be working on. For this project, I will make a 2D car racer game for the Android platform, which I name Devracer, which I will upload to the Play Store after this project is finished. The main concept here of this game is that you are a thief who will just buy the police for stealing. Maybe I actually didn't really come up with really good idea about this project. Sorry about that. This game is themed about a car racer where you walk on one-way street and have to dodge every passing car. But first, I'm sorry because I can show my process of making project, making game asset and other. To be honest, I'm quite busy with work and can't record every single one of my activities all the time. I'm sorry about that. And yeah, I started the project by creating a path that will later become a background as well as a road in the game. I made this road from a 3D object quad that I gave a sprite and road material. Why I didn't use 2D sprite and instead use a quad is because I will create a rotating effect on the road later, as if the road continue to move even though I only rotate the texture on the quad object. Then I made a dev car that will be act as the main player. There is nothing special about my player. I only give him a box collider and a rigid body was used to detect collision with other object. And then I will make a simple function that will move the X position of the player, so later the player can avoid the enemy. For the controller itself, I'm going to make a button that I put it on canvas. I make the button transparent so that it's split in half and you can press it to move the character later. I create a custom script that I made on this button. In this function, I check if press condition in the update function and check if button is right or left button and send a signal to the player to move when the button is pressed. And after that, I made a simple game manager was used is to calculate how many kilometers have been passed and will be displayed in the game UI. The number of kilometers I calculate from game manager update function, which will increase every second. After that, I made a simple enemy spawner which will later spawn enemy cars that must be avoided later. This enemy spawner also has an audio source, background music which contain the music of passing car. And the function of the enemy spawner script is simple. The enemy spawner is gonna instantiate or summon object at the point where the X point has been limited. The enemy here come from the object that I created earlier, which I gave a collider of course to detect collision in the player later. Then I create a function to detect damage. When the player come into contact with the enemy. And every time the player is hit, the player health will decrease by 1, but can be filled up after a few seconds. And after the player is damaged, the player will also gonna run the blink function, which will make the player deactive and then active again, like blinking. After that, I also made a simple police which will appear when the player is damaged. The police here will appear from below as if to catch the player. And then I also made a simple game over panel that will appear of course when the player dies. The font I'm using in this project is Candy Pixel. I also made a power-up spawner that is almost similar to the enemy spawner, which will spawn power-up that player can pick up. For now, I only make one type of power-up that will make the player invisible and cannot die until the blink pass end. I also made a simple main menu containing the title and a transparent button to start the game. Back to the gameplay, I will create a high score system based on the kilometer earned by the player. I made a save data function when character die in the game manager. This function will check if the current score is higher than the previous score. If yes, then make the current score as high score. If not, then use the old high score as a high score. To save data here, I use a player pref. Player pref is a class that can hold a simple data like float, integer, and string. Player pref is very easy to use. That's why I use it in my first project. So well, I guess that is for this video. I'm really sorry because I'm not competent in explaining. To be honest, I'm an introvert, so I'm not good at talking and explaining things. And I'm sorry too about my English. I know that my English is very bad. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, and I also have a small announcement that I will join a game jam starting next week called Devlog 2021. This game jam is a challenge type where I have to make progress every day and upload it on social media until the game jam is finished. So yeah, I will upload the first game next week and will immediately following the game jam. So stay tuned for my next Devlog video, and I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching and good night everyone, and have a nice dream.